Welcome to this week's Future Toolbox podcast. We explore the Z to A of life skills, where each letter stands for a topic and essential tool to help you get ahead in life. Meet Jules and Mark, creators of the multi-award-winning Future Toolbox, and enjoy their straightforward approach to creating growth mindsets that help people turn their dreams into realities. Whether you're a teen in education, a parent, a teacher, or part of a community group, start creating positive habits from today.
Welcome to our latest Z to A podcast with me, Jules and Mark from the multi-award-winning Future Toolbox.
Hello, everybody.
Now, this is where we pick a letter and a subject and discuss how you can use our tools to improve your own personal development and life. So what letter have we chosen for this week?
We have chosen the letter S, which is for self-care. And this is about looking after yourself physically and also mentally. And the idea of making time for yourself, it sounds great, but sometimes we don't do this because there doesn't seem to be enough hours in the day.
Very true. The day does seem to just go through and you've got through everything you're supposed to do. And when it comes to actually looking after yourself, you don't get round to it, or you just think, oh, well, I'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah, or do you know what? I'll skip a meal, I'll skip a workout. I haven't got time to do this or do that or the other. But by making time for ourselves is going to have a massive impact, not only on our physical selves, as we say, but on our mental health too.
Yeah, so believe it or not, you're never actually too busy for a bit of self-care. Starting something new or adding something into your schedule does seem a little bit overwhelming to start with, but self-care does not have to be self-consuming. In fact, actually incorporating a bit of self-care into your day might actually dial down your stress levels, improve your patience, and help you to stay focused. So it's going to do you good as opposed to thinking, oh, it's another thing I've got to put into my day.
Yeah, that is very true. We can make time for ourselves, and more to the point, we should be making time for ourselves. So should we share the 4 self-care secrets? Now, we've talked about these quite a lot, and we actually have quite a few podcasts on each particular self-care secret, but let's summarise them today, and then maybe we can give a little acronym to help people practice and rate their self-care. So what is number 1?
Okay, I shall go straight into number 1. But I'll be honest with you, I don't think they're secrets anymore.
They're not secrets, no, because we've talked about them before and I've listened to this before.
So number 1 on our list is, are you ready for it? Get some sleep. Now, you might think to yourself, God, why waste time sleeping when you could be doing lots of other important things?
Yeah, there's a phrase where some people say, well, sleep's for wimps or whatever, or I don't need to sleep, I can stay up all night partying and everything. And that might be where you're trying to impress somebody else, but in reality, you're not impressing your own self-care routine. So we've talked a lot about sleep patterns, we've talked about body clocks in previous podcasts, which is Z for Z's, a little while back. But just to summarise, the recommended sleep for adults is between 7 and 9 hours sleep per night. That's about a third of your day, or a third of your life. And people, again, as you say, get that mindset of going, that's a waste of time. I could be doing something better.
Yeah, it's that mindset. And you could be thinking to yourself, well, if I'm sleeping too much, then I'm missing out on things. But what happens is if you're not getting that proper sleep, and that happens 2 nights, maybe 5 nights a week, eventually you're left with a routine that's going to leave you feeling constantly tired. You know, there's many reasons why you stay up late. It can be simple things like you get scrolling on social media. And let's face it, we all know how easy it is to lose an hour. And before you know it, that's it. It's gone, isn't it? And you think you were going to be asleep at 10:30 and it's now 11:15 or something.
Yeah, I remember a few years ago when I got into, it's known now as doom scrolling. It's a great name, isn't it? But I remember doing this perhaps more in lockdown, where I was going onto social media and then I was engaging in negative media news stories and sometimes engaging in negative conversations. Then I'd go to bed, try and switch off, but be thinking about the conversation I'd had with somebody or the doom story I'd read. And that's something that, being honest, neither of us really engage massively in negative media. But when you do something like that, or you're engaging in something that's too stimulating, or even maybe it could be a TV programme, a TV documentary before going to sleep, then that can really, really affect your mindset, and it doesn't give your brain a chance to switch off.
That's very true. And one of our biggest downfalls unfortunately, is getting involved with watching programmes late at night on that. I don't know if I'm allowed to say the word.
Oh, what, Netflix? You could say Netflix if you want.
I mean, they have some awesome series on there, and we are currently watching one at the moment. And the problem is, they always leave the episode with a cliffhanger. And so you're desperate to find out what happens next. So you think, oh, well, I'll quickly watch that one. And it's never going to be quick, is it? It's still going to be 35, 45 an hour long episode. And then before you know it, and it happened to us the other night, you actually said you thought we'd gone to sleep around about 11 o'clock. But I'd actually got up to get a glass of water because we'd finished watching a few episodes. And it was 20 past 12,
Wow.
which is really late for us. So that was a bit of an eye-opener in terms of making sure that we stop doing that.
So we've gone from doom scrolling to binge watching. So that is, two things that can really affect your sleep routine.
That's right. And I think the thing that we've learnt is it's absolutely fine to watch something before going to sleep, because if something's quite easy to watch and light-hearted, then it helps you relax and go to sleep. But watching something that's high drama, which is what we were doing, has the opposite effect. So now anything that's high drama, we make sure that we do it either early in the evening, definitely not when we go to bed at night.
No, don't watch any high drama, gripping thrillers or anything like that. Horror movies are another one for me as well. If I watch a horror movie, I won't sleep at night. Anything that's really, really scary or really, really jumpy. But yeah, just to real summarise on that one, that is the key component, number one key component of self-care is sleep. We've talked about regulating your body clock, getting your regular sleep, 7 to 9 hours a night, and doing this for 7 days, not 5 days. Now, we have friends who work night shifts, 4 on, 4 off, and again, that can really, really mess with your body clock. A great analogy as well is if you've ever been on a long-haul flight and you've suffered from jet lag, you'll know exactly what sleep deprivation does to you, and by messing up your body clock, it can make you feel tired for a couple of days of your holiday, but it's okay because you've switched off there. When you're trying to work and you're trying to juggle a family or you're trying to juggle study or exams or anything, you need to regulate your body clock. So what is self-care secret tip number 2?
Well, the second one, again, is something that we talk about and big advocates of. It's about eating a balanced diet. Yes. Does that mean 5 a day? I don't know. But yeah, it does mean eating healthily, eating your greens, not constant fast food. And even though you might have a burger from a fast food and it's got a bit of lettuce in it, or is it a gherkin, that doesn't really count.
It's definitely not 5 burgers a day, but 5 bits of lettuce a day. No, you're right there. That doesn't count, does it?
And yeah, much like sleep, we can end up forgetting to eat or skipping meals when we get really busy. And it is easy to do. But that's another reason why people may want to skip meals, is because they're trying to lose weight, because there's that pressure on people to look that certain way. And we push ourselves to fit in with that sort of false standards of beauty and what we should be looking like, particularly women, but the pressure is huge on men as well now.
Yeah, and I guess both of us are quite lucky because we've never really had to go on big diets to lose weight or anything like that. So yeah, it is about not getting hooked into the media and what you think you should look like, but balancing it up, having breakfast, lunch and dinner, and then healthy snacks in between. So a healthy snack isn't a bar of chocolate, is it? I do like a bar of chocolate in between now and again from time to time, but I'm going to pick on one of those meals, breakfast. Years ago, I used to get up as late as I possibly could and rush to work and sometimes be late, but that's another story. And then I'd find that by about 10, 10:30, I was absolutely craving food because I'm running on empty at this point. When I started studying nutrition a few years ago and I went onto a course, I actually found out that breakfast was the most important meal of the day, which, being honest, I knew anyway. But because I've been running on empty for them first few hours, I was really ineffective and my body was craving food. So that running on empty was just meaning that my first few hours of work were pretty useless, to be honest with you. And then you're playing catch up for the rest of the day. So I'm just going to pick that one meal and say never ever skip breakfast. You haven't eaten all night. You need to fill your body with some food. When you first start eating that breakfast, if you've skipped it, it can be quite difficult to start it because you don't want it, but you have to create the habit.
Yeah, it's creating that habit and that routine. And once you have that routine, your body then wants it when you wake up. It's used to having that nice, healthy, nutritional start to the day. So yeah, don't skip your breakfast. And we've said about it before, we like to live by what's called the 80-20 rule. So eating a balanced nutrition diet 80% of the time and allow 20% for treats and other things that you might enjoy. So that's why, Mark, you can still have bits of chocolate that you do enjoy.
I can have a slice of chocolate from time to time.
And I quite often have a biscuit in my cup of tea in the afternoons, a nice little one to dunk in there. So let's go on to secret number 3.
Yeah, obviously a favourite of ours is exercise and fitness, so we love to be active. Now, there are plenty of tips out there saying you need to get 20 or 30 minutes a day or do 150 minutes a week or whatever it is. So what we usually recommend at the Future Toolbox is something that's going to raise your heart rate every single day for around about 20 to 30 minutes maybe. Now, this doesn't have to be going to the gym and lifting the heaviest possible weights. It doesn't have to be running a marathon, not that you're going to do that in 30 minutes. But it could be something really simple like going for a power walk around the block. And again, that is really, really good for your mental health. We were really fortunate to live by a park, and walking around the park was amazing, wasn't it?
Absolutely. And there's a good friend of ours here on the island, and she set her stall out because she wanted to improve her level of fitness. She wanted to lose some weight, so she started walking every single day and has built it up so that she now can walk at a really, really good pace and at a great length as well. She's lost almost half of herself, hasn't she?
Yeah.
That in by doing this. So it doesn't have to be anything really, really, really strenuous. It's just doing it consistently every single day to improve your exercise and your level of fitness.
And this ties in really nicely with the other 2 tips, because if you're exercising, it helps you to sleep better. Also, if you're a little bit stressed out and you're really, really busy, sometimes just taking that 10 minutes, half an hour out to go for a walk clears the mind. You can come back and focus more on the task. But tip number 2 was all about eating a healthy diet. Be aware not to go for a walk for 30 minutes and then think, do you know what, I deserve a kebab now?
Or that burger with that very, very nutritional little tiny bit of lettuce on it.
Yeah, or the gherkin that nobody eats.
I like the gherkins.
Yeah, I've actually started eating them sometimes now. Not that I eat many burgers, but I've had 1 or 2 gherkins.
So if we look at secret tip number 4, this is about practicing meditation. And again, we have talked about this in the past and the benefits of doing that. So going back to what we were saying in the beginning, when we talked about practicing self-care and saying most of the time we think, I haven't got time to do it, we're really, really busy. This is where your meditation is key to coming in to help you to unwind and concentrate on looking after your mind and your body and your soul.
Yeah, like a lot of things, this doesn't need a lot of time. So perhaps even 5-10 minutes a day could be a real powerful even start to your day, middle of the day, end of the day, or even better, do one at each time. But this could be just taking some time out just to sit in silence. You don't have to practice anything other than just sitting there in silence, moving away from your mobile phone, moving away from distractions, moving away from the kids, moving away from your parents, whatever it is, and just being in that moment for those few minutes. And then perhaps just focusing on your breathing and just thinking of nothing else. Now, of course, your mind is going to wander when you first start doing this. I remember going to a yoga session where we meditated in it, one of the very first times I tried it, and I couldn't stop thinking about other things. I thought, that didn't work for me. I've totally failed on that. And the instructor said at the end, do you know what, that's totally normal, because it's like with anything, you've got to practice it. Now I can switch my mind off just like that. I was down at the beach earlier today, just standing there with my feet in the water, looking across the ocean and thinking, wow, where did them 5 minutes go? Because I was just looking at the ocean, it was really calm.
Do you know something we haven't mentioned? And whilst you were just talking then, I've just had a really, really lovely drink of some nice, cold, refreshing water. And hydration is one of the things that for your self-care is so very, very important. Your body needs to be hydrated. Your brain is made up of, I can't remember what the percentage is. It's about 80%.
It's a very high percentage of water, isn't it? Yeah.
So you need water. You need to keep your body hydrated. And the more hydrated it is, the better it will function and perform for anything that you're trying to do. So we talk about exercise and living that healthy lifestyle. But please do drink plenty of water.
So that brings us nicely over to that little acronym that I promised you earlier, where you can track your self-care. So if you write down the word SHED, SHED, and that stands for sleep, hydration, exercise and diet, and you rate yourself out of 10 on these. So look at your sleep pattern, think about how much energy you have each day. Did you go to bed at the same time, wake up at the same time, and what was the quality of sleep like? Hydration, so as Jules just mentioned, drink plenty of water. There is a loose recommendation of 8 to 10 glasses a day or whatever, but make sure you're drinking plenty of water. Exercise, look at what you do each day. Do you walk? Do you run? Do you go to the gym? Do you just do some simple exercises? And then the last one is your diet. So do you eat the 80-20 rule? Do you follow that? Do you eat your 5 a day as the NHS perhaps recommend to us or something like that? So rate your SHED and then look at how you can improve it next week if it's not the scores you want.
Yeah, when we talk about hydration, a good way to know whether you need some water or not is touch your tongue. If your tongue is quite dry, it's because you're dehydrated. So always check your tongue to see how dry that is, to see whether you need a drink or not.
That's a really good one.
That's a really good. There you go, one of Jules's tips. But even better than that, I have created a self-care planner for you guys, and it will help you to plan your day. So make sure that you've had the sleep that you need, that you have the hydration, that you plan your diet, and you can also track your mood, because sometimes your mood has something to do with how you're feeling. So you can download that very, very shortly. It will be on our website.
Yes. Okay. So go to our website, which is futuretoolbox.co.uk. You can also find us on social media with loads of free tips and tools on there. We are on Facebook, Instagram and TikTok. We also have a YouTube channel, and we will be on LinkedIn because we are
absolutely everywhere.
We are everywhere. So we look forward to catching you in the next episode. Make sure you keep looking after yourself, prioritise your self-care, and have a great rest of the week.
Yeah, don't forget to download that self-care planner and get looking after yourselves.
Yay.
And we'll speak to you soon.
Bye for now.
Thank you for joining us for the Z2A of Life Skills with Jules and Mark of the Future Toolbox. Don't forget to head over to their website, which is futuretoolbox.co.uk, where you can find lots of free resources, plus a host of books in the store, as well as subscribing to the membership site. Follow Future Toolbox Instagram, TikTok and Facebook at Future Toolbox, and subscribe to their YouTube channel too.